keep the party going. What is going on, my Tiberious tribe? I was on Gun Mag Warehouse recently and I noticed these 18 round magazines for the Glock 44. So I said to myself, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one up because a lot of people were upset that when the G44 first came out, they only had 10 round capacity. Then I noticed that the magazines were made by Pro Mag. So I went ahead and picked up 2 of them because I've had some quality issues with Pro Mag magazines in the past. Before we get into these mags, let me very quickly mention my 3 channel sponsors and give you guys the discount code for you to save a couple bucks. Let me also quickly mention my Patreon supporters and my Patreon page. If you're looking to support the channel, that is the best way to do so. If you cannot, no big deal. Just keep those likes and those comments coming. Now, comparing the 18 round magazine to the Glock magazine, they do look very, very similar at first glance. One thing you're going to notice is the followers on top are definitely different. This one here is the Pro Mag, this one here is the Glock. So the follower is slightly different. If you also look at the load assist tabs, the Glock one is much larger, the Pro Mag one is much smaller. And this is significant because not only is it much smaller, the shape of it, the edge of it is much sharper, and the spring has significantly more tension. And it makes it a little challenging to load, and it hurts a little bit. As I was loading it, I found, especially when you get past 10 rounds or so, the first 10 rounds aren't bad, but I would pull down on the follower, load around, and once I got to like 10, 11 rounds, I was kind of switching fingers because it took a lot of pressure and strength to pull down, and it kind of hurt my fingers quite a bit. Also, if you look, the base pads are very different. This one is much bigger. This is the Pro Mag, this is the Glock. So the base pad's a little different. Not a huge deal at all, but then when you put it on the Glock, this is how it looks. Again, not a big deal at all, but it definitely looks a little bit different. Now these mags cost between $15 and $21 depending on where you're looking. And again, I found the best price at Gun Mag Warehouse at 15 bucks each. Another good thing about these magazines besides the price is the fact that they are made in the US of A. If you look right down here, it is stamped made in the US of A. Up here, 22 LR. Now, I shot 600 rounds roughly through both of these. One may have a little bit more rounds than the other because I didn't always load it up to 18 rounds. Most of the time I did, but I kind of, sometimes 15, sometimes 18, sometimes 10, just to test all the different amounts. I shot CCI, I shot Federal, I shot Winchester, some white box stuff, whatever it was, Thunderbolt, Aguila, Fiocchi, every ammunition I could possibly find, I tried as many as possible. The one that I did have issues with is this Remington Golden Bullet, not Golden Nugget. This would not feed at all. I mean, not even one round. However, I had those same problems with the Glock factory mags. So it's probably an issue with the ammo in the gun, not with these mags specifically. So through the 600 rounds, I had 3 failure to feeds. That is it. 600 rounds each. 3 failure to feeds. And the funny part, I loaded up the first magazine, I shot those 18 rounds. Boom, 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 flawless. Loaded up the second magazine, failure to fire. I'm sorry, failure to feed. Second round, failure to feed. Third round, failure to feed. Cleared that, and then I shot all 15 rounds with no problem. So I don't know if I didn't load the magazine correctly or if it just needed to be kind of broken in a little or something. But all 3 of those failure to feed issues were on the first time I ran that magazine. So with all that, I'm going to hesitantly say these are good to go. The only reason I say hesitant is, again, Pro Mag has had some issues in the past. 1,200 rounds total with very few malfunctions is very, very good, especially for rimfire. Also, keeping in mind this is rimfire, most people are not using the Glock 44 for self-defense. Most people are using it as a range toy and as a training tool. So keeping that in mind, A-OK to rock these Pro Mag 18 round Glock 44 magazines. Let's talk about the pros. Biggest pro for me is going to be the capacity. They fit 18 rounds in the magazine without really making the magazine any larger than the Glock mag. The price is fantastic. 15 bucks for this magazine that is still made in the USA is great. And then again, it's only a sample size of 2, but these 2 have been very, very reliable for me. As far as cons, I only have one. I mentioned it earlier. It is kind of difficult to load the magazine, especially when you get past that 10th round. Now, I know that extra spring pressure, spring tension is probably to make sure they run reliably. I understand that, but the extra spring tension along with the smaller and sharper corners of the load assist tabs does make it very, very difficult. To give you an example, both my 12-year-old daughter, how old is my daughter? 12-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son can load all 10 of these rounds no problem. When it came to the Pro Mag, after 9 rounds it got difficult. My daughter could kind of do 10 and 11, and that was it. They couldn't do any more than those rounds. So for duty, for some weird reason, if you're using the Glock 44 for duty use or protection or self-defense or something, I don't know. For some weird reason, if you're doing that, for now, I'm going to recommend you stick with the Glock 10-round magazines just until these get a wider sample size, and time will always prove if something is durable or not. So thank you very, very much, guys, for watching. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're looking to support the channel, there is many ways to do so, and the absolute best way is to support me on Patreon. Just $1 or $2 a month really helps offset some of the cost of running a YouTube channel. If you are not able to support me on Patreon, no big deal. Just keep those likes and comments coming. They are greatly, greatly appreciated, and they really, really help me out. Now, if you want to see what reviews I have coming up next, consider subscribing to the page. This way you should get notified when I come out with a new video. If you want to see what videos I am working on in real time, you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The link to both of those are down in the video description. Now, we do have 3 channel sponsors here on the page. M2 Tactical Solutions makes the best Kydex gear in the game. Holling Beard Company makes the best beard care products in the game. Breakthrough Clean makes some of the best cleaning products for your firearms in the game. Discount code for all 3 of those is Tiberious in caps, and it will save you between 10 and 20%. One more time, let me say thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace. I know shooting a .22 pistol at 100 yards is silly, but I get 10 rounds in here. I want you to guess how many hits I'm gonna get at 100 yards with the Glock 44. First one to get it right, I'll send you something. It'll be a surprise. Hit. 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 I don't know how many that was, but I'll put it up here on the screen. First one to guess it, you got something heading your way.